Have you seen your parents or your older grandparents lately? There's a very important information that we wanted to share with you, how important it is to do a wellness visit. You will never know what's going on unless you do.
Welcome to Senior Care Made Simple, an elder care podcast, your guide to navigating home health care with confidence. Hosted by Andrea Albertini, founder and CEO of Horizon Care Services, an industry leader in private duty home care in South Florida. To learn more, visit horizoncareservices.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Andrea Albertini, Senior Care Made Simple podcast with my co-host Doris Muscarella. Hello, Doris.
Hello, everyone. Nice to have you here listening to our podcast.
And today we have an amazing special guest, and his name is Peter Keiley, and he is a Marine Corps Combat Desert Storm vet, and we're very excited to have him. So hello, Peter.
Good morning, ladies. Nice to meet you. Pleasure to be here today.
We're very excited to have you here, and we'd love for you to share some of your stories and some of the things that is very important for the community to know and what you're working on and so on.
Sure. Thank you. It's an honor to be here and very grateful to meet you all. My passion and purpose of being here today with you is very similar to your mission of providing wellness for our community, particularly our seniors, our veterans, and our first responders. On that point, I believe that much of our passion and purpose is based upon what we've grown up with. And I'm the oldest of 6 kids, Irish Catholic family, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of dynamics, but that's good. And I went into the Marine Corps back in 1980. And I think I gravitated to that because of my father, my godfather, and the family heritage of carrying on that tradition. I say that because as the oldest of 6 and as a leader in the Marine Corps, I believe, and I'm very confident, that is brought to me where I am today in my senior years of having a passion and commitment similar to your mission of being aware of not only our family, but of our most important generation, our seniors and our elders, and providing that wellness and providing that compassion and that connection that is so important for our community.
Well, you know, our seniors are very vulnerable, and a lot of times they get taken advantage of it. And actually, yesterday I had a phone call from a friend of mine who was actually in Tennessee. And this lady, she was taking care of this lady for a very long time. And she had some other friends with not such a good intentions who end up causing a lot of problems for this particular friend. And she ended up falling, and this friend of mine found her in the floor. Now she's in a nursing home for the rest of her life. And the friends who supposedly being taken care of her were not. And one of them was actually an attorney that supposedly be taking care of her affairs. So as you can see, Peter, because our seniors are so vulnerable, okay, you can't just trust anybody. Mm-hmm. You have to be very careful in who you trusting your loved ones with. And as we live in Florida, a lot of our seniors, their family don't live here, okay?
Yep.
So they don't know what's going on with them. So it is very important this stop by a wellness check.
Correct.
You know, I talked to my mom yesterday. She sounded a little different, or my dad sounds a little different. For any of you who has elderly parents, elderly grandparents, or sometimes just an aunt or an uncle who never had children, you know, check on them. Do a wellness check.
And I've been fortunately trained. I'm not formally certified, but I've been formally trained in peer support and wellness checks. My career background recently has been supporting first responders that go out to the communities. And I'll have a list of those individuals, and I'll do a follow-up check, right? Because they may be having physical or mental trauma. And the important thing that I've learned, as my father had said, learn to listen to learn, And the important thing, the reason why I say that is when you're doing a wellness check, it's very important to hear what is being said and what possibly might not be being said. And as you had mentioned, Andrea, to be keen on your gut instinct. If you hear or you see something that's a little bit off, go with your gut instinct and lean in. And if you have the physical capability of visiting, do that. And having what we call, as you had just mentioned, you have a lot of vulnerability. You assume positive intent. In today's crazy world, unfortunately, you can't always assume the positive intent. There's other underlying, things that might be going on. My point here is it takes a minute. It takes 5 minutes to simply lean in and make that connection. And that 1 or 2 minutes or 5 minutes can be a matter of, as you had mentioned, your patient, your colleague that was going well, and now all of a sudden she's now in a hospice or in a nursing home, bedridden. That check-in can be a matter of wealth, and as a matter of fact, right, health is wealth, right?
Absolutely.
So it's very, very important to take that time and to work through that. And I'll close it with this. I look at it as the full circle of life, right? A lot of times I was speaking with a colleague on my way up here this morning. Her mother is in Chicago. She's here in Florida. And she's challenged with, mom's a little bit a pain in the butt, right? And it's all this stuff. Literally true, right? When we're little kids, you're chasing the kids and they're wanting to talk about the same story over and over again. Same thing as we getting older. We're talking about things that may make no sense, but if you lean compassionately and think of this and give that, and again, you only have one parent, one grandparent, family is so important to enjoy that, because one day they will not be here and you'll be sad, and you shouldn't be sad. You should celebrate their life. So it's very important in our fast-paced world to lean in compassionately, like what we're doing here today, and bring awareness and provide the support and care for our elders and our first seniors. And we're hopefully, God willing, we will all be there one day, and we will have a community of people that are supporting us like your organization.
So I have a story, an experience that I had. It was Thanksgiving, and I happened to call my mother-in-law to check on her to see if she had made, don't judge me, please, the pudding. Her pudding was the best pudding in the world. So I call her up, and as I am calling her, she was slurred in her speech. And I'm like, you okay? She goes, no, I woke up this morning. I think it's a headache. I'm like, you have, I can't understand you. Oh, don't worry about it. And I have a reputation of, I don't wait. I immediately call 911. And she says to me, don't you dare call 911. I said, don't worry. I'm going to head over there to check up on you. And that's okay. I hung up the phone, and of course I did call 911.
Good.
By the time I got there, they were already taking care of her. And she, with her slurred speech, said to me, I will never forget it. I'm so mad at you. Let me tell you, she was having a full-blown stroke. Mm-hmm. Half of her body was paralyzed already by the time she got to the hospital. And within the next day, the doctor said to her, because you took care of it immediately, you're not completely paralyzed. So that phone call, that little phone call, just to check on the delicious pudding,
yes,
made a big difference. And it's like you said, we always have to check on them. I always checked on her. She already passed away, but I always called her for any reason, just to check and give her support at all times. And it's so important to do that.
It's so true. To that point, to what you just said, unfortunately, as I mentioned, I'm a veteran and first responder supporter. We know of 22 a day. 22 a day is either veterans or first responders, unfortunately checking out, committing suicide, and you've got 988. What I've learned in our wellness and support is that important thing, and go with your gut. And what you did there, you basically saved your aunt's life.
Yeah.
And it takes 1 minute to do it, and then maybe another minute to lean in and make sure that they're okay.
Absolutely. And sometimes you call them and they repeat themselves over and over. When you were learning how to walk and you were learning how to talk, you did the same thing.
Yeah.
And they took care of you. So now, the roles are reversed.
Absolutely. And how did you get started with this, though, Peter?
As the oldest of 6, right, looking after, being a parental figure, and then a leader in the Marine Corps. No coincidence in life. I was on a meeting where Chief Wellness Officer for Clemson University, Anna Curry, who's a trained physician, doctor, and she started a wellness program for the U.S. Army. I was on a call, and she was leading a inaugural team of cohorts of peer support, as I mentioned before, to lean in and help our veterans and first responders. And I volunteered for that. And the nice thing, again, you pay it forward, you invest your time. I was trained, provided that guidance, sharpened up those tools of which, again, fortunately, I grew into. And I wake up each morning with this point: pay it forward and positive mental attitude. And as my kids say, there's 2 things you can control, Dad: your effort and your attitude. So I say this because what you give back and you volunteer your time, everyone that's listening here, take the time, pay it forward, help each other out. And you may be tired, but you'll be surprised. We get so much more energy back to be doing that. And it takes very little effort to do something good and to be caring and compassionate, particularly for your family. Or we're here in Florida and we're going grocery shopping. Very frequently, I'll see an elderly person in the aisle. They may not know me. And if it's a woman, I'll say, what happens in Publix stays in Publix. And I'll be kind and help her or him with their groceries, pay it forward. And again, everyone, you get so much more back. And similar to what you do on Andrea, philanthropy, whether you have the finances or the simple part of having the time of having a conversation, you can make a positive ripple effect to that individual and the people around them.
Absolutely. And there is, I've been a part of this community for 21 years, actually 24 years, but 21 years with my healthcare company. I am part of this community. We are part of this community, and we are here to be able to help everyone that has ever picked up the phone and called this company.
Always.
Well, sometimes we get phone calls that, I need a plumber. Okay, we have a list. We have a list of every provider that we already vetted, that we are able to help anybody. We are a senior services company, even though we provide private duty hour living care, senior placement, mobile physician. We are part of this community. So we are here to be able to help anyone and everyone with resources, information. And even my caregivers, our caregivers is our bread and butter. There has been times that we had a caregiver, she was 25, 26 years old with 2 kids working 12 hours a day, living in her car. We didn't know that, right? So when we found out, we put her in a hotel, and we went and talked to the Palm Beach County Family and Children's Services, and we were able to get her into a HUD community so she can get her life started. And so that's who we are. I am so proud and honored to be here today, to be able to do something with you, to be able to help any of the vets. Even though I'm Brazilian, the American vets are very important to me. So thank you for your service, Peter.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. So, Peter, I have a question for you. What are some of the signs that you've learned or trained on that we should look for during a wellness visit?
Thanks, Doris. That's a good question. And in the key art of what we're doing here, right? We're sharing and we're pausing and we're actively listening. And what I've learned is the key point of actively listening. And that means the physical part of listening of what's being said and possibly what may not be being said. And as what you had mentioned before, that slight thing of your aunt had the slurring of the words, slurring of the speech. That's from a listening perspective. Another point may be physical perspective. Share a story for you. I recently, as I mentioned, I retired unexpectedly, which I thought was going to be fine. And I myself went through a lot of trauma. So I say this here. A lot of people get to that point of retiring and understanding, well, your job doesn't necessarily define you. So that might be a challenge. You can say that all day long, but it is a big life change. And what I'm going here is I had met my brothers for a golf outing. Wonderful day. And my brothers immediately, right, not listening, but just physically saw me and said, Petey, you got to get the F out of the word. And the F is not that bad word. The F was the fear. Just them seeing me physically going through the trauma that I was going through. So you have to be aware of, your senses, physical, listening, etc. And then most importantly, in this day of technology world, right? We've got phones in front of us and distractions. Remove the distractions, remove the noise, be present, be truly present, just like what we're doing in this meeting today. And you can pick up on those signs and you can be one step ahead and go, as we said before, go with your gut instinct. Go with your gut instinct, and you'll be very happy. And you know what? If you were wrong and she was just having slurred words, that's okay. It showed that you cared, and you can make a true difference. And as you had mentioned, Andrea, being aware of not only your patients, but also of your clinicians and your staff, and which is why I'm grateful and honored to meet all of you today. You're not only looking at it from your patients, you're looking at your holistically, your clinicians, your team, et cetera, that whole community. They're making that positive impact of making individuals, our community, our nation, and the world a better place.
I'm really curious about how you deal with determining, and once you determine something, what action do you take? Let's say you phone a first responder and you find that something's off. What do you do?
Sure, that's an excellent question, Doris. Again, as I mentioned, and all of us, we have different skills, et cetera. The important to what you did before, right? You made the call and to your aunt, and you reached out to a resource that could help your aunt. What I do is similar. I'll reach out, and it could be family members as well. Reach out, be present, listen, have that conversation, and again, very important is to allow that individual to speak, right? To have that, as you were mentioning before, Andrea, you think you have your friends. You think somebody's taking care of somebody. To know what your 3 to 5 is. 3 to 5 is 3 to 5 unconditional people that have your back regardless. Now, if you don't have that 3 to 5, or you're just doing a wellness check, what you'll do is you'll give that person the time to listen, to talk, and do more listening. Provide no real feedback. Let that person figure that out on their own. Again, I do this because I'm going through my own programs as well. I walk it, I live it, I breathe it. And the important thing is that let that person figure it out on their own. And if they do need help, reach out, provide them information, whether it be, as you mentioned, Medicare, Medicaid, valued information, resources to have food, et cetera, to help them understand where they can get that. And if there's resistance, or there's particularly as we get older, that cognitive part there may be a little bit weak, to help provide that guidance, right? Don't do it all for them, because as we get older, we want to be self-sufficient, but to basically provide them that guidance, put that seed in there. But very important, if you feel that they need help, make that phone call. Because again, the biggest thing is sometimes our pride gets in the way of what we really need and what we could do, or just sometimes we don't know. And if you care and you help, as you did, Doris, you basically saved your aunt's life.
Yes. So knowing everything that we do and how we're involved in the community, how can we help you or assist or provide resources for what you do?
Well, I was going to say, I think I know the power of connectivity, right? Connections, community, collaboration, right? A lot of C's there. And it's just a matter of communication, education, partnership. Again, whether it be philanthropy, finances, or wellness checks. I'm working with an organization that's very strong in AI, technology, very sharp in technology, but they're not familiar with the veteran support groups of organizations like Boulder Crest, Gary Sinise. If you know who Gary Sinise is, people remember him as Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump.
Yes.
It's all of this stuff. And again, his story, interesting story, his son and his wife passed away almost at the same time. And he, instead of getting dark and going into depression, he started similar to what you do, Andrea and Doris, information for the community. So what can we do together is basically what we did here today. We got to know each other. We didn't know each other probably a month ago. We took the time of understanding each other. We're sitting here today. We're communicating. We're sharing to the community. And again, as I mentioned to you, Doris, when I first came in, this is the first of many collaborative meetings that we will be doing. And again, most importantly, and everyone struggles. Every generation struggles. Our children struggle. But very important is to the first responder community, our veterans, your clinicians, right, that are strong. They may be going into an environment that are going to have a traumatic day. So be leaning in, put the devices down, be compassionate, invest the time, and you can pay it forward. So answering your question, Doris, is exactly what we're doing. Communicate, connect, collaborate, and that ripple effect will help everyone.
That's awesome. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So, Peter, can you explain Great Day to us, please?
When I went to a recovery program at 66 years old, I went into a post-traumatic stress recovery program, and I thought I knew it all. I thought I was good. I was in health and wellness. I went to that program, Boulder Crest Foundation and Big Red Barn, that have helped me what we call struggle well, right? We all struggle. But to shift our struggles into to turn that struggle into strength. And a great day, as we were sitting there, as I mentioned before, effort and attitude. I was thinking of a little logo of, as I said, I wake up every morning, positive mental attitude, pay it forward. Great day is I start each day, rise and shine each day with a moment of gratitude. Every moment, every day when I wake up, I pray and I say, thank you, God. And again, I'm grateful to be here today. And through the day, I'm going to have a heck of a lot of challenges, but I'm going to rise and thrive through those challenges with resilience. Again, as I mentioned, I've got two things I can control, effort and attitude.
That's it.
And then at the end of the day, that successful day is through teamwork. Hence, I wish you all a great day. Start it with gratitude, resilience, effort, attitude, and know that we only succeed through teamwork.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Together, we're better.
Absolutely.
Right? We
Together,
do a
we're
lot
better.
more wonderful things together than alone.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, sidebar. You said the word golf. You had me at hello.
Oh my God, here we go. For a lot of you guys.
We are brothers and sisters from others' mothers because I always say, you had me at hello. So true.
So
tell
is
me
there
more.
a Veterans Golf Association? Is there a First Responders Golf Association?
Absolutely. There's plenty. And it's funny. I will frequently find finances to go to a Rolling Stones concert, that's for sure. But then since they're not touring this year or possibly ever again, the other thing is golf. So I will find yes, there are plenty of golf outings and fundraisers and sponsorship. You mentioned before, I went to one in South Carolina, and you find a way of doing it. And what I like about golf is, again, if you're sponsoring it and you're part of it, it's bringing a community together. You're meeting people. You're outdoors. And as my kids have realized, wow, Dad, golf is a tough sport. It kicks your butt. But you're outdoors. It's a mind game, and it truly brings people together. So, yes, there are plenty. We will definitely share together on some of these events. You'll see it on social media if you follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram, et cetera. It's all relative, but yes, golf. And as my father would say, any day on this side of the grass is a good day. So it's a beautiful day.
Absolutely. We were part of the Friends of Veterans for IVAS. We participated in that golf tournament. Horizon was there. Of course, we love, the veterans, and we were a sponsor of that event last year. and we did a great job. So that's why I'm asking about golf, and I'm a golfer. So
we will definitely be out on the links together, and I'll be a ringer, and I'll have my brother Timmy, who's a single handicaps. Actually, I'll give a shout out to him. He just won the golf championship up at his golf community. But we will definitely do it together. And as I mentioned before, this is the first of many.
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Peter, for coming today. It's an honor having you in our podcast, and hopefully we'll be able to share a lot of time and a lot of good things together and continue to do well for our local seniors and anyone that may be in need. So thank you for coming today. It's a pleasure having you. If you all need any information about the amazing work that Peter does, it's going to be down in our show notes. Anyone needing a wellness visit, check. All Peter's information will be down in the show notes, and you guys can reach out to him. If any of you are interested in coming into our show or talk about anything and everything that you may want, please email us at seniorcaremadesimple@gmail.com. seniorcaremadesimple@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining us in one more episode of Senior Care Made Simple. Doris, have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Ladies. Thank you.
Senior Care Made Simple, an elder care podcast, has been brought to you by Horizon Care Services, your private duty choice in home care in South Florida. For more information on acquiring home care assistance, visit horizoncareservices.com.